Hello everyone and welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. My name is Stefan. Thank you for coming to the channel. We're back in front of the 32-gallon long SR Aquaristic low iron glass rimless heavily planted aquarium here in my fish room in the center rack, so it's at eye level when I'm sitting in my chair right over here. And FYI, check out this. My mom made this for me. Pretty sweet, huh? I love fishing too, so the whole fish thing captured in my seat pillow. But I digress, or do I? It's all in the same theme, man. So this tank continues to be a source of joy and new learning for me, and a little bit of frustration. If the microphone is picking up sort of a rattling buzz noise, that's from the filter to this tank. The otherwise redoubtable Aquascape Biomaster, that's the thermo version down there. I think it's the 600 or the 350, excuse me. I mean, I love these filters, but this one's giving me fits. I can't seem to solve for a clean, smooth, quiet flow. It's coming out in bursts or spurts with some air in it. I've tried all the tricks, trust me. I've cleaned the impeller, gone inside, taken it apart, put it back together, tilted the filter, did this, that, and the other, but I still get that rattling noise, which is mind-boggling, because this one right here, much more in the center of my room, is silent as a tomb. Oh well. So that's the bad news. We got that out of the way first. This tank, with my ever-growing population of live bears, mollies, swordtails, and platies, continues to grow and thrive. I have all different sizes and sexes of these wonderful fish. Some standard fin, and some leer tail, and some even veal tail expressions of the molly. So different phenotypes in here as well, different color forms. There you see a more orange-red and a more yellow-black chasing each other around right there. And here you see some juveniles, the beautiful red. They're almost like coral red platies, but they're not. They're going to grow up to be bigger than that, which is a blessing and a curse. I do love coral red platies because of their super small size relative to the platy. The only true platies I have in here are these tuxedos right there, and I'm almost certain they cannot breed with mollies or swordtails. So any of the ones that look, well, let's say for example that's a molly that bred with a black and a red right there, that beautiful combination. So the platies are their own thing, and since the tuxedo platy is currently my favorite expression of that wonderfully diverse group of fish, and since red is a motif of this aquarium, I'm certainly not going to add a gold or a blue or any of the other wonderful types of platy in here, because I'd have hybridization almost like within a month. And I've already got plenty of action and activity here to occupy myself with. So look at that beautiful black molly, so iconic, the one with the veal tail that's almost curled over. It's so cool, so elegant, jet black. Look at those two, love them. Now I'm going to tell you something, and I heard another guy on the fish tubes talking about this. He said black mollies are far and away the best cleaners of algae in the hobby, straight up, freshwater and salt for that matter. And I might agree with him, because for all that amano shrimps and nearite snails, they all have issues involved with keeping those fish. Some are too small when you have them with bigger fish. Some don't do enough. Nearites lay those white funny eggs. Black mollies just eat, have a vegetarian diet. They'll eat anything, but they love eating algae and all different kinds. And the reason I have sort of, my eyes are giving me proof that what that fellow on the fish tube said is accurate, that black mollies in particular, and probably all the mollies, I don't know, he said black mollies, but a molly is a molly. They are the best algae eaters in the aquarium hobby. And if I needed proof of that, I don't have a lick of algae in this tank, and it's heavily planted. I've got filter issues going on right now, so the flow isn't great. It's heavily populated, so there's fish poops, there's tons of nutrients in the water column, and I don't have a lick of algae. I don't have that fuzzy kind that you always discover, like here in the Blixa japonica, or up and in the pogostem and octopus over there. None of that. And in my other tanks, that's where I would find green hair algae. And blackbeard algae used to be an issue in this tank when I just had these white cloud mountains. It would appear on the stick work. And I don't have any of that anymore. And I have to attribute that to the mollies as algae eater. You hearing that? That's a Siamese algae eater. And they're pretty great at doing the job as well. But he was in here when I had algae before I put mollies in here, so go figure. Now, black mollies and mollies are very closely related to guppies, so they breed like guppies, and that can be a blessing or a curse depending on what your goals are, what you want, and what you can do with the fry. I've been feeding fry to my display tank, to the discus, rainbow fish, and angel fish in there will just devour most of the fry. However, some have escaped their clutches and have grown up in the display tank. And so now I have another method. I take, when one of these fat females, like that black molly there, is my, like there, there's like 50 of them in frame. So there's some fat female fish in here. And when they drop fry, I usually will find clutches of them up at the top. And I just sweep my net through, pull out the babies. And now instead of dumping live fry into the display tank, I'm putting them in a little container and then in the ice box. And I have read in more than one reputable spot that by slowly freezing the fish, they do not feel pain. Their temperature just goes down, they slow down, and then they perish. And so it's a very, I don't know, I don't want to say poetic, but a non-harsh way to dispense with fish you don't want. So if you have a sick fish, when I worked at a fish store, the fish keeper said, just catch it, put it in a cup, and put it in the ice box. And they aren't able to process the pain of freezing to death, as abnormal as that sounds. So, now I freeze the baby fry quickly, and then when they're like just perished, I thaw them out and feed them to my display tank so that no more of them will grow up, because I cannot have any more fish in that tank than I already do. And as it is, I'm playing with fire, given a few mollies have grown up. So that's an interesting pro tip about black mollies and mollies being exceptional algae eaters. And so consider keeping them in your community tanks or as a species only tank, and you won't have algae problems. I'm almost certain of it. You'll have way less than you would if you tried other fishes. And then also, the babies are excellent live food. Just be mindful that some will grow up unless you do what I just described earlier. What else can I tell you about this tank? You see how I've managed to contain the water sprite back there so it looks more like a bunch plant, more like a plant that's in the ground, which it ostensibly is, although I don't know if there's actually roots in the substrate. And then the little forest of cryptocorn, and then this fabulous Blixa japonica. I've never had this plant do so well for me. I think it's because there's a clay-based substrate beneath the sand and gravel. And then I've got some wonderful little stems mixed in with sturgeon repens. pogo stem and octopus in the back, epiphytes up along the rock and wood, and then Balasinaria, the leopard veil, which will throw that wonderful, you see that pattern on that leaf there? Leopard spotted with red. What a great version of Balasinaria. There's a little bit of Hygrophila pinnafatata right there that's growing in its stem form as opposed to as an epiphyte. And then finally in the corner, you see that willowy crypt. There's some balancea and a little veil sneaking in there as well. So that's the plant life. The white clouds are holding their own with all these boisterous live bearers. And the ancestris, there's a standard plecostomus, and then my super red male that's really, really red. Maybe the best super red I have in the entire fish room. And again, a red and black motif is what I'm going for here. Some of these Mauis want to be a different color, but that's their prerogative, and I'm okay with it. You see the emerging plants forming a beautiful little aquascape, or excuse me, a diorama, or a you know, still life of sorts, planted life outside the tank. Some of that's coming from in the aquarium, and the roots are up and then down in the back in boxes and such, and some of it I just have planted out here. And you know, when you can't tell when you can't tell is what's best, it just looks like a jungle scape with a little bit of organized chaos, which is sort of one of my theme lines for this channel, organized chaos, just like nature. That's it, my friends. Really, thank you for supporting the channel and listening and commenting, and otherwise being just a super value add to my enjoyment in this hobby, and I hope yours too. Okay, everybody, keep your hands in the tank, and ciao for now.